common question that gets asked is what type of toilet paper can you and do you use in your Caravan cassette toilet? We use Quilton or Kleenex. Both of those are septic safe. Quilton says on the packet suitable for all toilet systems, and the only toilet systems that are available to us mugs is septic and sewer. Kleenex, I believe, I don't have any on hand, but I believe from memory it actually states septic safe. And in the Caravan accessory places, they'll generally push this Caravan special Caravan toilet paper. We have two examples of it here. One's Camco and one's Tetford. The Camco stuff is absolute rubbish. It's one ply. It's basically transparent, and it's rolled together so loosely that if you actually rolled it tight, it would be a very, very small roll. The Tetford stuff is 2-ply, Camco's 1-ply, Tetford's 2-ply, and Quilton is 3-ply. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put 500 ml of water in each of these three containers, and I'm going to put a piece of each of the toilet paper in there, and then I'm going to agitate it with a drill for a set amount of time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt this in favour of Tetford. That's what they do in their video, so that's what I'm going to do in my video. So there's no argument as to whether who's I'm favouring, because I'm going to try and favour the Tetford product. I'm going to go and add the Camco to it, but don't take too much notice of that because it's absolute rubbish. You wouldn't buy it anyway. So the question is Tetford, specialty Caravan, U-Butte Super Caravan toilet paper, or your average supermarket toilet paper. Now, to put all this into perspective, the toilet paper, Camco and Tetford, is about $7.50-ish, $7.50 to $8 for 4 rolls in a bag. That works out at about $1.80 per roll, and it works out at 0.64 of a cent per ticket. The Quilton at the moment, you can get it at Safeway, or Woolworths, sorry, we're from Victoria. I'm still struggling with that. You can get that for a bag of it for at $8, $8 in a bag, or 12 in a bag, and that works out to about 0.24 cents. So the Tetford and the Camco toilet paper is about 2.5 times more expensive than the supermarket toilet paper. So let's just see whether it's worth it. Is it 2.5 times better? I know Camco's not. Camco's probably about 10 times worse. But let's just see how we go with the Tetford. All right, so here we go. We've got the Camco one here on the left, the Tetford one in the middle, and the Quilton one on the right-hand side. So we'll put each of those into their respective buckets. What I'll do is I'll fill the Tetford one first, then the Camco, and then our chosen one. So the Tetford one's going to be in the water a little bit longer. Not a lot, but a little bit. So it's certainly tilted in their favour, and we'll see how we go. So I'm going to agitate. I'll leave the Tetford one to soak the longest, and I'll leave Quilton one till last. So what we'll do is we'll whack the drill into the Camco one, and we'll agitate that for about 10 seconds. It's a bit longer than 10 seconds. That needs it. We'll leave that one soak, which is a Tetford one, and we'll go straight into the Quilton one. So that's 10 seconds, and now we'll get into the Tetford one. Tetra one I've agitated for 15 seconds, and we'll see how that looks. Now you can see how this rubbish here hasn't done too much at all. This has turned into quite a fine pulp. That's the Tetford one, and this is the Quilton one, which has still got some substance to it. So what we'll do is we'll leave that sitting there, and we'll give that about 5 minutes, and then we'll see how that goes, and we'll give it another dose with the drill and see what happens. Well, they've been given about 3 or 4 minutes to just settle, and you can see that the Camco one is quite large in its pieces. The Tetford one is still a pulp, and the Quilton one still is a pulp too, a little bit heavier pulp than what the Tetford one is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the lid on these containers, and I'm going to just shake them and just see how they go. So I'll do the Camco one first. So I'm going to give it a fair shake. It's not going to be gentle. So I'll do it for around about 10 seconds each. That's the Camco one. So I'll give the Tetford one a bit more. Just want to be fair. And Quilton. Plus it's hard work. That's about 10 seconds for the Quilton one. And now we'll see what they look like. What we might do is we'll give it maybe a couple of minutes just for it to settle. I'll have a quick look, see how they've panned out. Camco one has broken down a little bit more. Tetford one seems to have broken down more into a very fine pulp, and the Quilton one has broken down into the pulp, not quite as fine as the... Alright, we've let them settle for a couple of minutes, and we'll have a bit of a look and see how they've come up. The Camco one, it's certainly not going to do any damage to your toilet system, but for the sake of a single ply toilet paper you wouldn't bother. The Tetford one has broken down into quite a fine pulp. There's not much left of it at all. There's nothing in there to grab at all. This is the Quilton one, not quite as fine a pulp as the Tetford one. A little bit, you could grab a few bits and pieces in there. It's not quite as fine as what the Tetford one is. Now the point of the whole exercise is what you use in your toilet, you don't want it attaching itself and wrapping it around the insides of the toilet mechanism and gumming it up, jamming it up, getting in the way and making it difficult to clean. None of these three products are going to do that. All of these three products are going to rinse out of that toilet cassette quite easily, and none of them are going to gum it up. Even the Camco one. The only reason you wouldn't use it is because as a product it's rubbish. As far as breaking down goes, it breaks down fine enough that it's not going to upset any of the toilet system. The Tetford one clearly breaks down the best out of these three, and the Quilton one, which is a better product to actually use, and it's cheaper. So those are the two things going for Quilton, and the thing that's going for the Tetford is it breaks down a little bit more. The difference in between Tetford and the normal supermarket toilet paper as far as how much it breaks down, both of these, and more so the Quilton because it hasn't broken down as much, both of these could break down sufficiently that they won't upset the toilet and they won't gum it up and cause any problems, and they'll both be able to drain out of the toilet completely with a bit of a rinse. So they're an equal product as far as that's concerned. And so I suppose it comes down to the type of toilet paper that you're comfortable with using and the cost of it. The benefit, another benefit of the Quilton Kleenex type toilet papers is you can get them in any supermarket anywhere in Australia, in the middle of nowhere, little IGAs and general stores and so forth. The specialty Caravan toilet paper such as Tetford, Camco, those can only come from, generally you'll only find them in Caravan accessory places and maybe a couple of auto stores here and there, but you'd need to stock up on those if you were going to do any kind of remote camping, if you wanted to use those types of toilet paper, or just stick to the Caravan. The supermarket stuff does the job. It's never caused our toilet any real dramas, and it works very well. Works for us at home, works for us on the road.